Hello everyone, I am Nagendra and welcome you back to my YouTube channel Pro to You Adda. Today we will continue our topic, that is working with functions. Hello guys, before starting our function, let me clarify you why we use function in a Python programs. Listen guys, function makes our work easier. The function is used to reduce the program size, as well as by using a function we can easily manage any program. How? When a large program is broken down into a smaller unit, that is known as function. As we all know that when a task is big, when a program is complex, then it is too difficult to manage. So what we do, we can break them in a small part, and then we can deal with that part by using our function. And today we will know how you can create your own function and how you can deal with the function which is being created by you. Both topics we will be covering today only. I think that the working of function is clear to you all. One more definition is written on the book. The book we are going to prefer, that is Smita Arora, which is one of the best book for Python for class 11th and 12th cbse. Here I have written that a function is a subprogram that acts on data and often returns a value. What it means? Always we know that a program needs three things, that is input, and then processing, and then output. Here in the input, what we can accept from the user, that is a data, a raw data, and after that a processing will be done. Finally what we get, that is an output here, and in this processing here we can be doing by using our function. So here what is the function, how it perform, how this topic will be covering by using an example. We will go on with the help of an example. You all know a polynomial which you have read in mathematics. Here see here, 2 into 1 square, 1 to the power 2 means 1, and it becomes 2. Here you can see the value changes and rest all remain same. As the value change, when we have taken x equal to 1, it comes 2 as output. When we have taken x equal to 2, we get 8 as output, and when we have taken 3 as the input, we have get 18 as an output. Means as the value changes, the output also changed. Here then we can make a term like fx, where it is a function, and here it will be the 2 remain constant in everywhere, so it's 2, and here a number, an argument have a square, so we have taken here x square. Now this is what a function. Here this complete process is not a function. Here we can say the term f is a function, and here x within this bracket, what it will be, it is an argument which accepts data, and data may change, and if the data may change, then obviously our output will also change. Here then what is 2x square? Here is what a processing, as I have told you that every program needs input, then process, then output. Here the processing is this, the functionality is this, and every functions means a complete process will be termed as functionality. Here let me compare this with an example with our computer language which we are going to prefer in Python. You may see in any programming language, not in Python, you can use any of the programming language, C, C++, Java. You may get these three things, that first of all we need an arguments. An arguments is what, where we accept the data. You have seen here that we accept the data here only, so we need data for further processing. Then functionality, how it functions. Here we have taken 2x square, it functions, and finally we get as an output. An output we need, because without the output the processing is useless, so we have to store somewhere result also. Hope this program makes your concept clear about the function. Now I am going to take you with there where we use Python. Hope this will make your concept more clear. See how we can use function in a Python is this. This is a complete way how to use a function in a Python. You may see different words over here. let me tell you what these all words may means and why we use this type of words over here. Before going on this, let me tell you that in function what thing is required. The very first thing that is defining a function. Before defining without defining a function, we are not going to able to make to any programs over here. Now we have to mention the name of a function and then a variable or identifiers required for accessing data, for accepting data required. Now here the def word is used. Def word is used to define any function. Then we have to mention a function name. It should be any doesn't mean that you will write your names. There should not be a proper noun. We use a proper name as we have already discussed while making a variables or identifiers. So here I have used here calc something. Then here in parenthesis the value is being passed x. What is this? X is an argument or a parameter here. We can say here it is an argument because the value will be accessed over here in x only. Now let's see the processing part. Here we have taken r. R is what? A variable. Here, as we all know that in function you have watched that what we have did, that is 2x square. Like this function you have seen already. Here 2 we have to mention, which is being mentioned here. Then we have to multiply x. Then we have multiplied x with an asterisk sign. You all know that how to multiply. In Python or any other languages we don't prefer multiply sign, we prefer what? Asterisk sign. And here for a power we use 2 times an asterisk sign. So here, and finally the output, where it goes to r variable, and then we have to return that r variable over here. Now what is important over here, you have to know that this first line have a colon at the last. Colon means more blocks are required, more lines are required. So here we have used 2 more lines. So this complete line will be termed as body of the function. And after functionality we have to return any value, and to return we have used a return word over here. So this is what a function, and this is a small step, and by following this step only we can go for a further. Now let's see calling in working with the function. So to use a function we have to call a function. For calling a function we have to follow this syntax. Here you must see that firstly we have to mention a function name, and after that we have to use that value which is to be passed as an argument here. Now see this line here, as we have already created one function, that is calc something. We are going to use the same here. Here the function name is what? Calc something, and within this braces what we are passing? We are in bracket we are passing 5. Here 5 is what? It is an argument. And then you can see one more example with the function here. You may watch here we have taken a. A is what? A variable, have a value 7, and then calc something is what? A function, and we are accessing here a. A is here what? Argument which accept a data from a variable, and a variable is what? A, which contains 7. Finally, you have to note one important thing here, that number of values being passed is same as number of parameters used. Here you are passing how many values? One single value, then we will be accessing single. So in further more examples your concept will be going to be clear by clear. So here to be continue and go for all the classes which will be very important for you. Over here one more example is here. For example, in the front of you, you can see this example carefully. Def is being used. Why we use def? To define a function, and a function name. Function name is here cube, and an argument we have passed, that is x, and it is being followed by a colon sign. Now rest is what? A variable, and x is a value. X here, it will, the value of x comes from here only, and then here we are going to use, we have used 2 times asterisk sign. What it means? We are going to have a cube of that particular argument, and then finally we have to return that value. How? By using a return function. This all concepts makes clear about a function, but here one important thing you have to know, that is the syntax of a function call, which I have already been discussed, and our declaration part, quite they are very similar, except only that Two different things are there. In defining, we use def word, and when we call a function, we didn't. And then here it is being followed by a colon sign. In and rest, we can't. So you have different ways of calling a function I am going to discuss. Among of them, the very first way is passing literal or argument. Passing literal as argument. How we can pass any literal as argument is quite very easy. We have to use a function which we have to define earlier. So here we have already defined a function name is cube by using def word. So here we are passing 4. 4 is what here? Literal. And it is going to be passed as a argument. So here this is the first way to pass. Now the second way, passing variable. So variable is what? A name location in the memory. Here n is in a variable. We have passed 10. Now 10 will be assigned to n, and by using this, cube is a function and we are passing n, which is a variable. Now the third way, here you can see taking input and passing means many times it requires we have to accept data from the user. On that time what we have to do, simply we have to take a variable, then we will use int and input method, and then we are going to accept an integer. So here I have used int word keyword, then a message which is being quoted properly but following with a colon sign. It is a syntax you all know very well. Finally, the data which we are going to accept will come on my num, and then simply by using that function is what? Cube, and then we have to access that value by using the same name which is being used here also. That is also possible. Let's proceeding with the next. That is using function call inside. Means inside only we can use. How? You all know print statement is used to print any value, and by using this print statement we have invoked cube. Cube is a function, and here this 3 is a value. Means directly by using a function we can call inside also. Here we are using, firstly what it will happen, it will accept the data, the processing will be done, and then the value will be posed for a print function, we will print the value. Now the last one is using function call inside. How we can call in inside? Here it is also possible. Here I have used d of c, means double of a cube. We are going to do one thing, that is double of a cube. A cube is what? Already we have used cube is a function. Now 2 is there. 2 is the value here, and then asterisk sign I have used here, and a cube word. Cube is a function, and then argument is 6. What will happen? Tell me what will happen. Yeah, surely. Firstly, this will be functioning, means a value which is being contained here on cube. The value is what? 6, and after that it is being 2. Then whatever the value comes after cubing any value, whatever you will be passing, it will be multiplied with this, and finally you will be getting as a output. Python function types. Before going on Python function types, let me tell you that our Pythons are come up with many preloaded functions. Preloaded with many function definition means here the functions are automatically loaded with the Python functions. Among of them, we have divided Python in 3 categories. They are built-in function, function definition in modules, and user-defined functions. Let's come one by one. The very first is what? Built-in function. Built-in function means what? It is already being available in Python. Only what we have to do is we have to use words. Which type of words? Keywords like len, type, int, input. This all will be not termed as a keyword here, but we can say it is a function which we have to use as in a program, and the functioning will be done automatically because it is what? A built-in function available in Python. Then the second category is what? Functions defined in modules. What it means? Means module wise a function will be defined over here. How? Let me tell you with an example. For example, I have to use a function like sign. I have to use sign. Then we can't use sign directly over here because firstly we have to know that this sign function will come on which module. It comes on math. So firstly what we have to do is we have to import math, then only we can use sign function here. Then that is what a second, and the third one is what? User defined function, where we can define function as per our need. Our next topic is defining function in Python. A function once defined can be invoked as many times as needed by using its name without having to rewrite its code. What it means? Means once a function we have used by its name, then we don't have to write code again and again. Simply we will invoke them by simply accessing their name. So for doing this, we have to follow a certain syntax. In this syntax, two important mathematical terms is being used here. This is what an angle bracket. Why we use this angle bracket? Whatever items you will pass within this angle bracket has to be provided by the programmer. And if we are using this bracket, it is optional. You may use also or you may not also. But if we are using, we are doing anything outside without after escaping these all, then it have to be written as specified, means we can't skip them. As we have written, as the syntax follows, we have to follow the certain, so the function may work. Here you may see the syntax. The syntax says that we have to use the word def, then we have to use a function name, and then we have to pass a parameters. As I told that when we use this angle bracket, what it means? It means that a programmer have to pass over here, and if we are using this angle bracket, that means we can opt it or we can't also. So here I can relate this with an example. You may see here it requires a def word that is being used, a function name we have used, parameter passed, then a functioning, and finally it returns a value. Two examples are written here. First example is this and second is this. In first example I have used return word, in another I can't. Then what it means? Sometimes we have to return if your program requires to return, and we may not also. By using simply print, you can go for print whatever your program is. Here we have not passed any of the value, so it not requires at all to return any value. So here return is optional. It's whenever it requires we will pass, otherwise not. Let's have a complete concept clear here only. Def is what? A function, definition to define a function, and then sum is a function, x and y is an argument passed as a parameter. Here they are functioning. Yeah, obviously this sign, colon sign, which shows that we are going to perform with a complete block, and this is what a complete body. Here and this processing is there, and here finally we return. So here this is the complete segment of a program. This line will be termed as function header. What it contains? Defining keyword, a function name, and then an argument which is being passed, followed by a colon sign. Then second line or more lines, whatever is being introduced here, will be termed as function body, and it will be performing for a complete functioning. Then finally, if you want to return, you can, otherwise not also. So this structure will be continued throughout a program when we do more programs in. Let's clear our concept with these programs. In very first program, you can see here def word is used for what purpose? For defining a function. Then the function name is here, sum of 3 multiple n is a parameter which I have passed. Now this is water processing, and finally we have returned the value. See here the same program is here also. What is the difference among of them? Notice, yeah, only one. Here we are returning a value, and here we are not. Simply we are printing a value by using a print statement. Now see this third of the program, nothing important here. Def area of the square, here without a processing. Here you can see, here we are processing, and here without a processing, by using a return, simply we return the value directly. Here you can see on program number 4 we are defining and function name is area of a rectangle. We are passing two values here, a and b. Two parameters are there, and you can simply return it by accessing or by multiplying the value. So these all are the valid programs. I think so that by watching this of the programs, your concept is clear about what is the function, what are the syntax, and in function what requires, what is syntax means, and what are the parts of a function, and each part may contain what meaning. So many more to discuss, and that much concept is clear for you all. So if you feel any problems, please comment me and do subscribe my channel. Even though press the notification buttons to remain connect with me and for further lectures and videos. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye. Jai Hind.